action-packed episode of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, Shiro finally dethrones the greedy Golden King Gilgamesh. The future becomes the present in this week's episode when Shiro has his final battle with Gilgamesh. Not only that, but Saber has her final goodbyes as she destroys the Holy Grail. This week's episode was freaking awesome! I loved it, man! The final battle with Shiro and Gilgamesh was so hard-hitting, amazing, the choreography was so slick and just, it was great. This is exactly what I've been waiting for a finale from this series. Not only that, but spoiler alert, we got a big return from Archer in this week's episode. And it seems like Archer learned a lot from Shiro, as his actual appearance in this episode is much closer to him. Maybe it's because he didn't decide to slick his hair back, maybe it's because he's starting to adopt his mannerisms, but that was a really nice scene when he had his final goodbyes with Rin in this week's episode. And that's just one of the many amazing moments from this week's episode. Gilgamesh versus Shiro, you know, I really don't have much to say outside the fact that the choreography was amazing, and when he finally brought Gilgamesh into Unlimited Blade Works and just started dominating him with his never-ending weapons, it was really satisfying, especially when he was getting up in his face, and I loved that one line where he said the reason that he's going to lose is because he's a king and not a warrior, and that makes sense. He completely destroys him, because there's a scene where he's getting ready to bring out his ultimate weapon, EA, and then he suddenly cuts his arm off and gives him one big final slash. It's satisfying as hell, the animation is beyond sexy, and it's one of the best action scenes from the entire series. One of my favorite parts about this week's episode was a scene where Saber was being forced to destroy the Holy Grail while Rin and Shinji were inside of it because it started to absorb them. It's a really claustrophobic and very creepy scene, and the tension is amazing because it seems like almost any second they're about to be killed when it seems like Archer just comes out of nowhere, uses his arrows, and allows them to escape. This is all followed by Saber just completely destroying the entire Holy Grail monster in this epic golden light, which then just explodes into the sky. Everything afterwards is just blanketed in gold light. It is an amazing scene. It's also the end of Saber in Unlimited Blade Works, as that's the last of her mana, and she suddenly disappears. I honestly got pretty misty-eyed during this scene. The episode ends with both Shiro and Rin getting ready to go home. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works? This was an awesome finale and a great way to end the battle between Shiro and Gilgamesh. It's exactly what I wanted from the series. The animation during that sequence when they were on Unlimited Blade Works, or maybe it's his own special version which has its own name, you know, the whole body made out of 100 swords thing, it was just handled so freaking well. Every single angle just looked great. All the camera sweeps, up, down, left, right, all these freaking barrel roll motions. It was really nice. And definitely the most badass Shiro moment of the entire series, without a doubt. He made Gilgamesh look like a punk during that scene. And especially when he was getting ready to pull out the big massive weapon and he just immediately cut his arm off. That was some hardcore stuff from Shiro, and definitely I think his most memorable moment from the entire series. But even the stuff with Saber was handled really well. I especially loved her entire goodbye moment. It was very sad and made me reflect on her character and how everything sort of came full circle, especially when she actually attacked Gilgamesh in this week's episode. I was kind of hoping they would get to have one more final battle, but no, it doesn't make sense the way everything wrapped up. At the end of the day, thanks to Shiro's courage and his endless determination, and him finally realizing that even though he's latching on to Kiritsugu's ideals, it's what truly gave him the strength to defeat Gilgamesh in this amazing episode. I honestly thought this was going to be the last one, but it looks like next week there is going to be an epilogue, which is going to wrap up everything. Is there going to be another dangerous twist, or is it going to be just a nice, heartfelt, mellow episode? We're just going to have to watch and find out. What I will say is this week's episode was great. On the technical side of things, this was animation porn. It looked really good. The action scenes were fantastic. The atmosphere was good. And just everything worked. The Saber scene, the battle scenes, everything. Fantastic. Just like the rest of the series. I can't wait to see more of what Studio Ufotable is going to bring us. They supposedly have another anime series coming out this summer really, really soon. I'm going to have to check that out and see what that's about because there's so many great shows that are coming. If there's any shows that you guys want me to look at in the summer anime season, Please tell me in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your suggestions, because there's going to be a ton of brand new shows, and I'm really excited to see a lot of them. Dragon Ball Super obviously is at the top of my list. I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, but there's still a few other surprises, so please leave me your suggestions. So all in all, this episode right here was pretty fantastic. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Just amazing action, great production value. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the epilogue. So there it is. Check it out, guys. So I like this episode, but what about you? Please tell me what you thought about this week's episode of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Did you have a favorite action scene, a favorite character moment? Are you gonna miss Saber? What do you hope to see in the rest of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works? Please tell me in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it, share it with all of your friends, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews and our awesome podcast show, The Powerful Nerdcast. Both me and Christian do that on a weekly basis, and it's really cool. Check it out. You guys can also follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!